Hey guys, Thrasher here, and we have some loot changes coming to Anthem. Let's talk about it right now. Okay, so a lot of people have been asking for some changes to the loot system in Anthem ever since we had that change last Friday where we were getting more loot. It switched back, we're not getting as much loot. We've realized that you spend hours and hours playing this game and you just don't make any progress because you don't get better items. And there's lots of reasons for that. So they finally heard us, and Ben Irving, one of the actual employees for the company, has made a post on Reddit letting us know the changes they're going to make. So let's go through those real quick and explain what's going to be happening. And also keep in mind this is going to go live today or tomorrow. So either the 28th or the 1st of next month. So let's go through these real quick. Okay, so I'm gonna kind of cut out his summary here. Essentially what he's saying is they heard the feedback that we either need to be getting more items, or the items that we do get need to have much better rolls on them. So let's go through, let's skip all this and let's start down here with the things that they're actually going to do. So it says inscriptions are now better for the items they are on. This applies to new items earned in Anthem, not existing ones in your vault. So this isn't gonna fix any of the old items that have crappy rolls on them. It just means any new items you get after this update are going to be much better as far as the rolls, and it's going to make sure that the rolls that you get are for that specific item. So next up, if an inscription applies only to the item it is on, gear icon, it will be useful to that item. Otherwise, the inscription will provide a javelin-wide benefit. So essentially, you're not going to get a weapon where you have an assault rifle, and then it's got the gear icon that says increased pistol damage, because obviously that doesn't help that weapon. And then he says pretty much the exact same thing right there. And then some more information below. Removed uncommon white and common green items from level 30 drops. So once you're level 30, you're not going to be seeing those garbage green and white items anymore that pretty much don't help you. There's no reason to even get those items. If you salvage them, you get embers. You don't use white and green embers currently as a level 30. The only case where you might is if you're trying to triple up on some type of a consumable that you're using when you go into a mission, where say for example you're trying to increase your shield, so you use the purple shield increase, you use the blue shield increase, and then you need to use a green ember to make the green rarity shield increase. So that is one example where you might, but 99 out of 100 times you're not going to use those embers, and there's no reason to ever use a white ember once you're level 30. So they're getting rid of that. That's nice. Next thing up, we've reduced the crafting materials needed to craft a masterwork from 25 masterwork embers to 15 masterwork embers. So this is huge because once you get a specific item that you want, even if it has garbage rolls on it, what you can do is throw it on. If it's a weapon, all you have to do is kill 10 legendaries with it and you'll be able to craft it. If it's not a weapon, all you have to do is make sure that it's equipped and do 35 missions, and then you'll be able to craft that. Once you can craft these, then you can get these quality rolls. So you have the ability to essentially make a quality item of the very specific type that you want at will, assuming that you're willing to go out there and farm for embers. Now, next up, as you salvage or harvest, you should be able to craft more masterwork items to get the inscriptions you're looking for. Pretty much what I just said. Now that inscriptions are more relevant to their item, this should yield better results for players. So that's cool. You can now craft the things that you want. So make sure you've got a harvest build. That's actually going to be a good idea after this, because you're going to want lots of embers, because once you get an item that you want, it might be garbage at first, but then you just go in, kill some legendaries, do some missions, you can craft it, use your built up embers that you've been harvesting, and craft until you get what you want. Now let's scroll down to the next thing. Additional inscription change details. We'll skip that part. Currently, there are a large pool of inscription options available to roll on items. The inscription pools are generic, e.g. that is weapons. So for most cases, there's a lot of inscriptions that can show up on a weapon or an item that help it in no way whatsoever. So what they're going to do is reduce the inscription pool for specific items, so that way all inscriptions on any item should be valid for that item and should be able to help it in some way. And so he says here, every masterwork item has 4 inscriptions, which is your major primary, your minor primary, your major secondary, and your minor secondary. So I don't know if that plays a big part here. That's just sort of how they've named it. Let's move on to the next thing. Change. Each item type now has a specific set of inscription options for each of their inscription pools. The pools are smaller and are targeted to the specific item type. So, e.g. that is, there used to be a weapon pool, now there is an assault rifle pool, and the assault rifle pool has 4 pools for each of the inscription types listed above, which is the major primary, major secondary, and minor secondary. So they've split them out for us. That's very helpful. And then primary inscriptions are focused on damage or survivability. Any item-specific inscriptions, gear icon, so it only affects the item that it's on, will always benefit the item they are on. There we go. So there will never be a case where you have an inscription which has the gear, which means it only affects the item that it's on, and it does something that doesn't relate to the item in any way whatsoever. Javelin-wide inscriptions, suit icon, will benefit damage or survivability across the whole javelin. Secondary inscriptions focus on utility and can be targeted to the item, gear icon, or the entire javelin suit icon. So essentially what this means is every time you get an inscription now, it's going to help you in some way. It may not go towards the build that you're working on at the moment, but it could work for some other build, but at the very least, it's not going to be absolutely useless. So this means the main thing you should be doing right now in preparing for this update, or if you watch this after the update has come out, is once you find the item that you want, you don't necessarily have to keep farming for that item. What you should do is put the item on, even if it's bad, and make sure that you can craft it. Once you can craft it, the main thing you want to focus on is harvesting a ton of Masterwork Embers, and then you recraft the item until you get what you want, and then you repeat the process to find the next item that you're looking for in your build. So maybe you haven't got a Truth of Tarsus yet, and you want that really powerful sniper rifle. One finally drops and it's absolute garbage. Not a problem. Throw it on, kill a few legendaries, do your crafting, and then you are good to go. So I think this is going to be an amazing change. We'll have to wait and see what happens. I'm hoping that there's no huge bugs with it. And that's pretty much it. If you guys have any questions, if there's anything that you think they need to do extra on top of this, I know a lot of people want them to increase the drop rate of items, but I don't think that's necessarily something that they have to do. Throw that down below and let's talk about it. If you guys like this content, make sure to like and subscribe, and I'll see you guys in the next video.